In this video, I'm going to show you how to create an operation note for your patient. So I have logged on to PowerChart and I'm currently in the ambulatory organizer, also known as the scheduling view. If you've selected yourself or a particular theatre as the resource, then you should see the cases for that theatre session. You can then open the patient record from here and know that you'll be in the right encounter. So my patient's on day surgery and there's an open inpatient encounter. The first thing I need to do on completing the operation is add the name of the procedure. Pick the Procedures and Diagnosis tab from the menu on the far left-hand side. In the bottom half of this screen is where you can add procedures. Don't forget, you can save your favourite procedures into Favourites folder, just as in other parts of eCARE. Alternatively, you can search for the operation. Here's another way I could add it to favourites if this is something that I do frequently. I can set up a particular favourites folder, save this procedure there. That means next time I won't need to search for it. Shortcut for today's date is T, N for now. Normally, if you're logged in as yourself, your name should automatically populate in here. If not, pick the name of the surgeon there. Click OK, and we can now see the procedures added. This functionality is already live, but will become more important after Phase C. It goes live in September. If you've added the procedure here, it will populate automatically the procedures column on the responsive work list, and it will also populate into the discharge summary in the procedures section. Next, we need to go to the surgery workflow and choose Operation Note. Now, there are not as many fields here as you might be expecting, and that's because some of the data is going to pull through from the intraoperative surgical documentation done by the theatre staff and other data from the anaesthetic solution. But you will need to fill in an indication for surgery. Your operative findings. And then the bulk of the operation note. Now, particularly for elective cases where you do the same thing many times over, you may already have some templates in Word documents, for example, that you may want to cut and paste into eCARE and save as auto texts, or you can create new auto text to speed up this part of the entry. So I have some personal auto text set up, and I have one for lap chole, which pulls in my standard lap chole technique. If I've done anything a bit different in a particular case, then I can edit this text as I need to. Scrolling down, asks for any complications in theatre. Again, you can write whatever you like there. I tend to just say technically straightforward if there were no untoward events. Post-operative instructions, again, you can type this in, or you may, if you have standard post-operative advice, again, feel that auto text would be useful. I've sent one specimen to histology. And swabs and instruments were correct. Take Now, if I had taken any operative photos or have drawn a diagram and photographed it using PowerChart Touch, I should see these photos in Media Gallery once we're into the live system. But this part of my note is then complete. Note, just like our other dynamic documentation, this is a two-step process. So now I need to create the actual operation note. So if we look at the operation note, we can see what other details have been pulled in: demographics, details of surgeons and anaesthetists, surgical start and stop time, etc. If I had tagged any of the images to be pulled into the note, I would see those here. It's not too late to edit any section of this. I can add a bit, delete a bit, and if I'm happy, then I sign and submit it. And if I was to go to documentation, I could, if I wanted, preview my operation note. This is what will be seen in the notes. This will also be seen in other parts of the workflow. So, for example, when my patient goes back to the ward, you'll notice the latest note was an operation note.